Good morning, welcome back to the channel. Well, we've got the beast from the east, number 2 here. It's arrived this morning and it's snowing quite heavily. It's been doing it for about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour now. And what better to do than make the most of where you actually are? As you can see, it's snowing all over the place here, and the trees are getting a lovely coating of snow on the branches because it's really quite sticky. It's not very dry snow and it's very windy, so it's going to obviously it'll drift on the roads quite quickly. So I might go out up the hill a bit later into the woods, but for the moment I'm just going to sort of settle my mind to actually taking a few photographs around the garden here of the trees and the snow, and a bit of abstract and a bit of beautiful black and white because there's hardly any colour here. So let's see what we can do from the comfort virtually of just my patio door here, which is just behind us. Just set the tripod up there, don't need to worry about things getting all wet and damp, and see if we can't get some half decent pictures just from the sake of walking out of the house a few feet. So what I've decided to do is I've actually a bit experimental today. I've got the camera here, but what I've got is the 100mm macro lens on, but unusually this, I put the 2x converter on it. That 2x converter only fits about 2 or 3 of Sony's lenses because they have a conscious restriction inside the front of the lens to stop you putting this in, because it sticks into the body of the camera, into the lens. It protrudes quite a long way, and this macro lens has got this converter on it which basically makes it work with mirrorless cameras. Consequently, there's a lot of space here, and it actually doesn't have the restriction the Sony lenses have. So I've put it on, and what I'm going to do is get some nice tight macro shots, because now I've got a 200mm macro lens, completely manual of course, so I'll have to use the tripod because the light levels aren't very good out here, and I might get a few macro images. Let's see what we get. Well, I found the interesting composition here. I love the way the trees are just sort of getting coated in snow and it's not falling off. So it's building up, it's producing some beautiful contrasts on the trees. And as there's absolutely no colour, I'm certain this image is going to end up black and white. But it's quite cold out here, and I've got the camera set up on the tripod here, which I'll show you what it is I'm framing up for. As you can see, we've got the camera on the geared head, which gives me the control over the composition and the image I'm interested in. Bear in mind this is 200mm with the extension on, and the lens is getting snow on it, so I don't want to be out here in the snow for too long because that particular lens isn't waterproof. But what I'm trying to do is compose an image here that works nicely. And what I'm trying to do is get the lines of the trees going off in the corners as best I can. And I think I like the way this darker branch here is curling round through the image, and this one's leading out here and these are leading out into the corners, and hopefully if that is focused properly. I've got a half a second exposure, which is probably too long because the tree's moving, so what I need to do is switch it to something like about a third, let's say a fifth of a second. No, more than that, we need to go out to about 50th of a second, I think, to cut down any movement, because the wind, as you can probably hear in the background, is quite ferocious. So let's set that there, 50th of a second. I think we'll go about to f8. No, it's all blown out. This is what happens. I have to turn it off. This manual lens doesn't communicate the aperture back, so turn it on again. It's fine. Compensation has little effect under these conditions. That's all nicely in focus because it's all red, so let's get that shot. I'm going to put it on 2-second timer because it's a bit flimsy and it's a bit windy, so let's put that on 2 seconds and let's see if we can't get that shot. 1/45th of a second. Have a quick review. Oh, beautiful, beautiful black and white image. Very pleased with that. A little bit of post-processing. But what I want to do is I actually want to catch the snow movement across the scene as well, so that on the darker parts of the tree you can see the snow actually moving around. I can see it on the screen here, and I'm going to have to actually take a chance at a much slower shutter speed and wait for the wind not to blow, which is about now. and hope I can actually pick up the snow drifting across the scene. I think that's got him. It's difficult to tell on the back of the camera, but I think that might actually be the sort of image. I'll take several. I'll take something different, longer shutter speeds, because the snow isn't quite as heavy as it was a few minutes ago. So that's obviously reaching the exposure limit for that particular aperture, ISO 100, and I'm on f22 at the moment and 0.7 of a second. So quickly get that shot for the wind. Oh dear, the wind's blowing right in the middle of that shot. It's difficult to anticipate when the wind's going to catch it, and you've got to be 2 seconds in front of that as well. So let me take a nice shot at, let's say, 200th. I might end up exposure blending, but blending these images together to try and get some of the effects of the snow in the other shot. So let's get that inside before I freeze to death and have a look at what we've got. Very much for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, and click the notification icon and the bell, and you'll be able to be notified when I upload new videos.